I'm here. Hello. Welcome. No one else is here yet, but it takes moments. And sometimes it takes people going, "Hey, this guy, he's live. Go check it out." Like shouting me out on Discord and wait, is this where I turn right? I don't think so. Yeah, it's definitely not. On Discord and whatever. The number just went from 0 to 3, so je ne sais pas. All right, so let's go to the moon. Let's go to the moon. We're gonna go to the moon. So we're on a trip to the moon. Okay, we're in a rocket ship. We're going to the moon. Okay, we're almost there. We're about to land on the moon. I'm gonna explain something to you. I'm gonna explain something. So, first of all, I know nothing. Yeah, that's a good tip. Good tip. I know nothing about the restrictability of a spacesuit. Whether or not a spacesuit is extremely restrictive of movement, I'm not even going to go there. But let's say it hypothetically could play a part in an astronaut's ability to jump up and down. Hypothetically, it could play a part. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Okay. It's not about the weight. Hello, Island Bear. It's not about the weight. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. This is important. If you are 1/6 weight, stay with me. Stay with me. If you're 1/6 weight, okay, then that means you have 1/6 the amount of downward force in order to launch. What do you mean when you say launch? To jump. So when we jump on Earth, we are fighting. We have the ability to launch with the downward force. Without downward force, we would not. If we had downward force, and this is where whoops, I need to be over. Oh yeah, I was just trying to change lanes, that's all. All right, so this is where a game like Half-Life, the physics of a game like Half-Life, when you do SV_gravity, the cheat, you pull up the console and put in your gravity cheat to reach the spots. Okay, I used to cheat in Half-Life. It's the way it is. Hey, Singalong Bear! Congratulations to Singalong Bear. She is now the most popular bear because she didn't get called names like deplorable discourse. No, I feel for that guy. He makes good content. But anyway, congratulations to Singalong Bear. She made an excellent song. I would really love for you to make an Operation Baby Landlord song, but you kind of did with your personal song. It was very, very personal and awesome. I let my wife hear it. She thought it was so nice. So anyway, downward force. And I got on a tangent about Half-Life and cheat codes. The video games aren't going to do. So you think, okay, just think, if you have 1/6 gravity and you're standing on the moon, 1/6 gravity, and you try to bend down really fast, do you think that you'll go down really fast? Think Think about it. Think. You're standing on the moon and you try to fall down really, really fast. How fast are you going to fall? 1/6. Interesting. So, applying that same logic, you have to understand that your ability to launch yourself from the surface is not the same as your ability to launch and by launch I'm talking about jumping, bending your knees and jumping. It's different. Okay? And obviously, yes, the restrictability of the astronaut's outfit is going to be majorly a factor. So why am I talking about this? Your downward force is not determined by fall speed. No, downward force is determined by the gravity. Oh, but we're not allowed to agree to disagree, so I am formulating a logical argument about why they didn't jump 19 million feet in the air and float away to the sun. Because it's 1/6 gravity. No. Rift Bear, not exclusively determined by leg strength. Because we have a context for understanding reality. Reality as living on the earth. How do you know that? How do you know that they would have been floating up in the air, Willy Wonka style? How do you know? Again, this is the challenge. Find me any video of that was made before the year 1970 of any planet, any the moon, any planet that was part of a movie, that they were on the moon, that they were on another planet where the gravity was where you can't see the strings, and the gravity is blatantly not the same as Earth because of their magic film techniques. So I have a whole lot more viewers now, and I used to talk about this about 2 months ago. Listen, there's a lot more. There's a lot more. So check this out. My point, and I've made this before, some of you might have heard this, but here's my point. I am not going to believe a NASA scientist from the year 2019 more than I will believe a NASA scientist from the year 1968. They are in equal standing to me. However, far as if I were to really break it down, I would actually trust the older scientists, as in video footage from the 60s, more than I would trust modern scientists. Well, the telemetry data is gone. No, it isn't. It's not gone. Well, then where is it? Yeah, that's a good question. Where is it? Well, they said it was gone. They said they lost it. They said they burned it or something. It's all gone. No, it isn't. It's not gone. It's not. It's not gone. Why is it missing is the question. But they say that they don't have they literally said that they don't have the technology to go back. Oh, is that a fact? Or is that just what they are saying? Is that a fact? Or is that just what they are saying? So, guys, I worked 11 hours straight. Okay, I did have a nice hour-long break. So I did 10 hours of work today. Easy peasy. It's all good. It's all good. So anyway, I'm just saying, I woke up at 4:34 this morning, and this is after one coffee and one Coca-Cola Life. Yeah, I drank that. Just for fun, guys. Every now and then, I like to have a soda, like, 12 times a year. A little soda. Maybe 8 times a year. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go forward. We're on the moon, guys. All right, so the telemetry data, I don't believe it's gone. The scientists that say that we don't have the technology to go back to the moon, liars. I'm not going to believe any of these guys. Why should I? Why should I believe a modern scientist more than an ancient scientist? Well, because we're supposed to move forward. Technology is supposed to develop. Okay, hold on. Why are we limiting examples of decline in technology to only 1900 and after? That's a very limiting, because there are very many times in history where technology has gone down. And not just because societies were destroyed by war and devastation. There were many reasons why. Here's an example since the 1900s where technology took a huge dive. And this is an extremely controversial. It was hypothetically agreed upon by a council of people in the 1940s that said, I can't remember what it's called. Was it called the Nuremberg trials? What was the name of the council that they decided to never, ever, ever, ever use all of the scientific discoveries that were made by the Nazis? What was that called? So, is that not an extreme backwards movement of technology? I'm not saying it was a bad thing that they decided to do that. I'm just calling it what it is. It was a backwards movement of technology. Technology had been gained, vast, incredibly, hypothetically important data had been learned that hypothetically could never ever be learned again just because of how they got the information. And it was a backwards movement. So that's since the year 1900, if you want an example from the year 1900 onward. So here's my point. I think that things have only gotten more corrupt. I think that fake news has gotten even more fake. Okay? I watched those videos. Apollo 11 and what was it? Apollo 16 was the other one. And I watch the footage and I go, I know what they can do now with fake like CG and all that. I know what they can do now. I do not, okay, so strings, right? We're talking about Hollywood strings. Here's what cannot be put on strings, and I've talked about this before, but a certain individual will never watch my video. He will never take the time because he's running a business. It's very simple. It's not that he's lying. He thinks he's right. That's fine. But he's running a business as a comedian. And he's a good one. He is a good one. I wouldn't watch his stuff 99% of every day if I didn't think he was a good one. Okay? He's a good comedian. So, all right, moving on. I don't believe that they destroyed the telemetry data or lost it. I think that they have it. I think that there's a very specific reason why no other country has gone to the moon. I think that there's a very specific reason why we haven't done much of anything since the 70s. I think that there's all very specific reasons. I'm not calling those reasons valid. I'm not saying that those reasons make much sense. But what I am saying is that there is a reason. There's always an explanation for things. I do think that we went to the moon for the reasons that I'm listing. So back to the dust. The dust. So as the rover is spinning its wheels and kicking up dust, the trajectory, you utilize trigonometry, you apply the gravity, and the math checks out, and it won't check out on Earth. Okay? So here's the theory. Every dust particle was actually like all 14 trillion, okay, not 14 trillion. I don't know. How many dust particles, guys? A couple 100 million? That's more likely. A couple 100 million dust particles were all intricately linked to a nanofiber string, a nanofiber filament string, and each one of those strings were perfectly coordinated to replicate the extremely complicated trigonometry of a moon-based gravity trajectory of propelled wheel propelling, and each one of those dust particles was on a nanofiber filament. That's how that works. Or they were on the moon. They had 100 million tiny nanostrings linked to every dust particle as the rover was driving to simulate a perfect trigonometry equation. And they did this in a studio. I don't care if they spent 10 years perfecting that. They would mess it up. Zorro has a microphone in the 1990s hanging down. That was a multi-million-dollar film itself, right? What about other films that have blatant, ridiculous issues? The movie Life, they had to cut out. There's always bloopers, the blooper reel. We're talking about one continuous. Anyway. Okay. So, all of these different hypothetical reasons are just as sensational as the non-provable flat Earth theories. And what do they both do? They get people to think. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. They get people to question. That's a good thing. I'm not calling it bad or evil. It's fun. It's fun. I'm not much interested in Bigfoot, but you know, that might happen. You never know. I mean, I wonder if there's a hierarchy of different things that you can actually talk about as a professional. The moon is like pretty acceptable. Holocaust, all these things are obviously like pretty within the Overton window, right? But then maybe there's things like Bigfoot or I don't know. I don't know what's more out there. I don't know what's more out there than Bigfoot. But I've always been like, yeah, maybe there's a Yeti and a Bigfoot. And why is there replicating a Chupacabra? Why is there a Bigfoot on every continent with a different name? I mean, that is fascinating. You have to admit, that's fascinating. But anyway, here's the thing. The dust is blatantly following an easily provable calculation based on what we have been told is the gravity of the moon. There's certain things that are just a little too hard. And I think, here's what it is. I think that what happens is we take things a little too literally and we trust the wrong people. And I don't want to trust the wrong people. I don't want to trust the wrong people. I want to trust God, because it literally says it is better to trust God than to put your trust in man. So that's what I'm going to do. How am I going to do that, and how do I recommend you to do that? Well, first of all, you need to read your Bible. Well, which version do I need to? The Bible. Okay? A handful of versions you ought to stay away from. So when you see me struggling, like wincing my face and like touching my chest, apparently that soda did affect a little bit of acid reflux going on. I mean, it is drinking acid, so that is kind of a crazy thing to do. That was a bad idea. I'm glad I had this thought. All right, so yeah, YouVersion is fine. It's okay. It's a good app. It's got a lot going on. There's more apps that I'll talk about as we move along. I'm gonna try and do it like a 50-50. Half of my nighttime streams, I'm going to do. The only reason I drank Coke Life, by the way, is because it only has 27 grams in a can of sugar, as opposed to like 19.5 trillion grams of sugar in a regular can. Okay, by 19.5 trillion, I'm saying like 67 grams of sugar. It never used to be that way. It's insanity. It's insanity. And I refuse to have sucralose. I'm okay with a little bit of stevia, just a little bit, but there's problems with excess of anything. So stevia is safe, but only in extreme moderation. It has, hypothetically, if you're like eating tablespoons of raw stevia on a daily basis, it can sterilize you, so that's not good, obviously. But I mean, that's true of vitamin A too. Yeah, that is a fact. So xylitol is XY, but xylitol is okay. However, it's a sugar alcohol, and it gives you the runs. And there's something else xylitol does that's really creepy. It's not that it's bad, it's just moderation. What? Oh, just bloating. Just bloating. Xylitol will make you have lots of gas. Like a lot of gas. It's not good. I mean, it's, again, moderation. But I had like 2 scoops of Nutella. Not Nutella, like some off-brand Nutella, and I threw away the rest because I was like, yeah, no, can't do that. It was like lower sugar Nutella made with xylitol, and I was like, oh yeah, it tastes great. Yeah, no. It happened like 3 times. Like it took me 3 times to realize what was going on. It had happened each time. Blah blah blah. Whatever. You get the point. All right, let's move on. We were on the moon, guys. We were on. So. I'm not buying these scientist documentary lies. Well, how do you know they're lying? Because I trust older stuff more than I trust new stuff by principle. Just because a head NASA scientist says something in the year 2016, in the year 1999, in the year 1989, guys, let me explain something else. But the Van Halen bounce. What about your Van Halen? Van Halen was a band, okay? I'm kidding, okay? I know what the Van Halen belts are. I also don't think that listen, they have to make money somehow. Here's what's crazy, okay? Yes, there's misappropriation of funds. $58 million a day, okay? I get it. Where is that money going? Guess where it's not going? How do I know? Because I've personally known NASA scientists. Guess what they don't make? They don't make millions of dollars. They make like 200, 300K, okay, a year. 200, 300, 400, 700 maybe, okay? So where is the money going? There's not 58 million scientists. Where's all the money going? Well, their projects are like massively expensive, and oh, so what you're telling me is 56 million of the 58 million a day is going in fuel costs? Where's the money going? We need to be asking the right questions. That's been my whole point from the get-go. Especially when I started advocating for Operation Baby Landlord. My whole point is, this stuff is funny, it's fun, it draws attention, massive crowds come from all over the world to listen to a dude talk about not going to the moon, or they listen to some random dude in his basement talking about flat earth, and he's got like 3,000, like this dude, not somebody you all necessarily know, but there's this dude that does like a flat earther mornings with somebody. It's a dude. I'm subscribed to a lot of people, so I get to see a lot of different random stuff. There are people that stream just themselves and their kitchen, not their kitchen, but like just their table and then their window, and they sit down at their computer. They stream all day, every day. This dude, and he talks all day, every day, but he's not talking to the camera. He's just like reading news and stuff. There are people that just stream stuff that just, you like, why are there people watching this? But the flat earth thing, there's like thousands of people, hundreds, whatever, watching this flat earth morning talk thing. And this dude just does nothing but talks about flat earth, and every morning for like 3 or 4 hours. Because it's interesting. It's fine. It is interesting. I get it. And it draws attention. And but guess what else does? Guess what else draws attention? Snake oil. Guess what else draws attention? Prosperity gospel. If you say the word, if you name it and claim it, God will give you what you need. All you gotta do is say what you need. Ask and the door will be open to you. It's in the Bible. I'm not misinterpreting anything. Guys. My message has been, let us do something. It always freaks me out when somebody hops out of their car and starts walking back. I'm like, oh gosh, does he have a baseball bat? He's just checking something on his truck. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. It's fine. It's just fine. So, people got to eat. Okay, people have to make a living. I get it. I started talking about this voluntarily, without expectation of anything, without pursuit of, let me see how I can make money from YouTube. Look at my first video. It's on my channel. If you go to my channel and you click, it's called Blonde Privilege. I didn't make that video thinking, oh, one day people might support me. I don't have like a subscription. I'm never going to do Patreon. I'm never going to do Patreon. I'm just going to try and live my life, speak the truth in love, and encourage other people to do the same. So, thanks. Anyway, am I thankful for any financial encouragement? Yes, absolutely I'm thankful. My wife and I are literally actively looking at ways that we might be able to completely eliminate our financial overhead that is apparently just nobody Very few people in America have as low overhead as we do. We rent, and we still have an extremely low overhead. And the only way we can get it lower is by owning what we live in, and with the worst credit in the world, and all this nonsense that happened, because I too have been betrayed. Okay, I too have been betrayed. It wasn't $50,000, it was about $30,000. Okay, it was 6 months' wages that were stolen from me. So when he talks about losing a lot of money, I get it. The thing is, I had nothing to fall back on. Nothing to fall back on. No bounce. No bounce at all. I had no bounce. Guess what I had to fall back on? Faith. And guess what happened? God is good all of the time. All the time God is good. Even when bad things happen. Doesn't change who God is. And God provided. And I made it through. And I'm still suffering. But I'm still making it through. It's okay. And would I have been able to make it through without faith? No, I would be a bitter, angry, possibly imprisoned individual. It's very likely without God, there would be certain people that their families would have me in prison. Does that mean that I've actually imagined myself doing something bad? No. Just because you know what you're capable of doesn't mean you actually thought it through and committed the sin in your heart. You can know the darkness that could be without Christ in your life without committing sin. Be angry, but yet do not sin. And all those guys are forgiven. I would have lunch with them. Everybody that was involved. There's probably certain people on this planet I'd have lunch with anybody. I would have lunch with an abortion doctor. Straight up. Without any hatred in my heart. Because honestly, what the thing is, and I don't like the phrase honestly, it's just a colloquialism that's really an annoying colloquialism. I get it. I get it. If I had the opportunity to have lunch with a abortion murderer dude that calls himself a doctor and somehow violates the Hippocratic Oath, but also has a license to practice medicine. If I was able to have lunch with one of these guys, I would, the emotion would not be anger. And that might make me different than you. That's okay, potentially, as long as you're not sinning. You don't actually want to murder somebody. No, it would be that of sadness, compassion, and total brokenness. Because I look at somebody in that situation as hopelessly lost, and what happens in my heart and mind, and I mean, I hope this is useful or valid to some of you, helpful or whatever. But I look at somebody in this situation and I go, oh no, God, the fact that I think that this is a hopeless situation for this man means that my faith is too small. God, help my heart, soften my heart, God, and help me have strong faith to pray for this person and to believe that they are able to be redeemed by you, saved by you, and will denounce all of everything they did, as many doctors have done. Many doctors have done that. There are many doctors who say, I'm now a Christian, I was a murderer. And who is somebody that was like that? Who murdered, I don't know if it was thousands, but definitely hundreds. Paul. Okay? He murdered Christians, guys. threw them in piles, set them on fire. Guys, God's power to save goes far beyond our understanding. And that is the most important thing. So, back to the moon. Back to the moon, okay? One of these days, pow! Right to the moon! It's hilarious, and I don't condone violence in or outside of marriage whatsoever. It's still kind of funny. It's only funny if it's not happening. If it's happening, obviously it's not funny. But that was a little funny, okay? Maybe I'm wrong for that, thinking that that's funny. Maybe I'm wrong. I will admit that I could definitely be wrong about that, okay? Right in the kisser! It's comic. It's like a comic, right? It's cartoonish. Okay, moving on to the moon. One of my older videos is it's all distraction. Blinky lights, guys. Actually, that was blinky lights that just drove by the opposite. Blinky lights, pay attention to this. Hey, pay attention to this. Okay? Pay attention to this. Blinky lights. This is really cool. Pay attention to this. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? What actions have you taken? What are you doing with your time? How are you spending your time? How are you being obedient to God? Huh? Blinky lights. Pay attention to this. No. What God is... I think that this is a pretty simple thing to understand, but maybe not. God is most concerned with our obedience. Fear God and keep His commandments. We just focus on these fascinating things, and we just sit around talking about blinky lights. Whether that's the moon, whether that's flat earth, whether that's Atlantis, whether that's Bigfoot, whether that's globalism, whether that's the Illuminati, whether that's anything. It doesn't mean never talk about it. There's value in talking about it. But how do we live our life in response? Well, what does the Bible say? Fear God and keep His commandments. Go therefore, and as you go, make disciples of all people, of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Make disciples. Interesting. No, yes, we need to preach the gospel, but that doesn't mean the job is over. Okay? Because the ones that say, hey, I get that, and I want that, and I want to get it. You go, you want to get it? Hold on. Did you just tell me that you want to get it? Yeah, man. You're telling me about Jesus and how without Him we're doomed to hell, and like He's the only way to get to God? Yeah, man, I want that. You want that? Yeah, totally. Okay. Awesome. Go to church. I'll see you later. No! But I don't know how to. Fine. If you don't know how, learn how. Okay? If you don't know how, then learn how. I mean, I'm nobody. I can't teach somebody how to, like, be more. Find someone that gets it and be discipled. There is a very simple, logical, quality method that the Bible is clearly laid out. The process, the cycle of discipleship. Okay? It's a cycle. become fishers of men. What do you do with those men once you catch them? You disciple them so that they can do the same thing to someone else. It always looks like this. You're in the middle. You've got an older person that's more wise than you, an older person that's more wise than you, that can speak into your life, and you've got somebody that's younger than you that you can speak into their life. And you keep doing that over and over again. And eventually you get to a point where you pretty much only have equals, not that this is like a hierarchical thing, but you eventually get so old that there's no longer going to be anybody available to be older than you. Okay, obviously. But that doesn't mean that you won't still seek wise counsel from cohorts. Okay? My point is, we could talk about the moon until the cows come home. We could talk about flat earth until the cows come home. I don't know when a cow is going to come to my home. Do you know how long it would take for a cow to just show up in my yard? Do you know how long? It could literally take thousands of years. Okay? He's starting to not make sense. I'm just being creative with my analogies and metaphors and all that stuff. Anyway, the point is, we could talk about this stuff all the time. Blinky lights. The problem is when we do nothing or when we miss the point. That means we're not getting it. I have no idea what's happening in the chat. But as always, I review the chat, and somehow by some miracle of God, Nate still has a wrench. I actually pray about it. You think I'm kidding. You think I'm kidding. I don't kid about prayer. I actually pray about it. And if I get convicted that if I truly feel like Nate doesn't need the wrench anymore, he won't have it. So I'm all about some prayer. So we have to edify each other, guys. We have to lift each other up. We need to admonish. Iron sharpens iron. Oh boy. We need to be willing to grow. Exactly, Sing-Along Bear. Exactly. She gets it. Everybody needs to get it. Okay? And you need to help somebody get it. That's your responsibility. And if you don't get it yet, that's okay. Want to, and find somebody that can help you. We've had some really beautiful prayer requests come in. Definitely been praying for those people. We will keep it up, and hopefully we'll see some testimonies and some answered prayers. But for now, I'm going to go. I'll be back somewhere in the neighborhood of two-ish hours. And I might do Bible stuff tonight. So leave a comment or financial encouragement via my PayPal link, and tell me what you want me to stream on. It's Tuesday night. So is it Bible or more Operation Baby Landlord? Check it out. PayPal.me/DevinJump, DevinJump. The link is in the description. You just click the link, I'm pretty sure. And then don't focus on blinky lights. That's my point. But I do like my nano string thing. Yeah, that rap video is really intimidating. Really intimidating. But I'm going to do it, obviously. One way or another. All right. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you later.